everyone. Hello. I am Hannah Joy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, I am so excited. We finally made it to YouTube, y'all. After since last year, I have not really went live. I have not went live at all. I have been giving you guys a little snippet of what's been happening in my life, and you guys have been seeing some pictures and some videos, but you have not seen me live. We live, baby. We live. And so I just want to give you guys an update of what's been going on with moi. I have to give you guys an update because life is moving fast over here. It is moving fast. And on this YouTube channel, we will talk all things politics because your girl needs to keep y'all informed on what's going on, keep y'all educated. I know y'all know, but we still need to go over, what's going to happen, in the future. And I feel that it's so critical now in society to talk about foreign affairs. We have to talk about foreign affairs and what it has to do with America because a lot of people do not know. And I want to help you all understand where our country is going as far as politics in 2024. And the job of journalists, the job of the people, and what politicians are supposed to be doing and where they failed, where they slipped up, or we're also going to talk about what they're accomplishing because I don't believe everyone is bad. There are some good politicians out there that's doing what they say they were going to do, before, when they were going through, trying to get elected and get you to vote for them. So I want to talk about foreign affairs. I want to talk about Americans, their role, all that good stuff. In addition, I want to highlight Illinois politics. I will look at I'll also look at California. Oh my God, I had a brain fart. But I will look at California and some nearby, states in the South. Look at the South and what's going on, especially in Louisiana. If you know me, I love New Orleans. I love New Orleans. That's my heart. New Orleans is my heart. I'm so grateful for the time I spent in New Orleans and the people there. They have been so kind, and their hospitality is like no other. But when you get to other places, let me tell you something. It is completely different. It is different. And I will be talking about that as well. I will be talking about all things travel. I have to let you guys know every step that I take and every place that I move. I have to let you all know what these places are like because what you see in the movies, honey, it is not that at all. You think you're in a fantasy when you're looking at these movies and you see these big Hollywood signs and you see all of that stuff, but I want to let you guys know about the nitty gritty stuff that no one really tells you about, that it's like on the hush hush. And we'll talk about all that. We'll get into that. But I need you all to like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell your people that Hannah Joy is live on YouTube. She is talking about updates with her life. I will be talking about makeup because a lot of you all ask me about makeup products I use. I'll tell you this, I don't do, I'm trying to lay off like a full beat. If you know me, I love a full beat, but I'm at a point in my career where, I have to do a nice foundation, get my brows together, and I have to do a nice concealer, and we got to be out the door. We have to be out the door because I really need to do better with time. If you know me, you know I'm like do 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 with time. I am terrible with time. If you know me, you know I'm terrible with time. But I believe that this season that I am in my life, I have to be on time. I cannot afford to miss deadlines. I cannot afford to be late. So I am working. Pray for me that I'm on time because I will be slow in a minute and take my time. Yes, and I will also be talking about food. I'm a big foodie. I love to eat. I love to eat Jamaican food. I love to eat sushi. I love sushi. But I have to get my body right. I gotta get my body right. I gotta stay fit. I gotta stay tight, y'all. I gotta get me together. Okay? Gotta get me together. So that means your girl became a pescatarian. I became a pescatarian. So I really only eat seafood, veggies. I drink water. Give me a little lemon. I also love tonic, but I had to lay off on tonic. So my new thing is I love kombucha. I love kombucha. Ooh, it's so good. It gives me that feeling like I love to belch and I love to feel just, ooh, I love good kombucha. Ooh, I feel so refreshed. Yes. And I am also a wine, taster from time to time. So, yes, I will be taking you all on different trips with me to vineyards and um, dinner spots that I love to eat at. We will also talk about, just life stuff, relationships, family, all that good stuff because whew, I be going through it. So I have to share with you all what is going on. But oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I am in school too. So you guys will only be getting a video once a month. Once a month, you'll be hearing from me. And I have to prioritize. I have to prioritize my work, my reporting that I am doing. I also have to report all that is happening in our world. So this is a part of my free time that I am coming to you all once a month. Just once a month. If it's 2 times a month, then that's a treat for you guys. That's a treat. But I want you guys to like, subscribe, love, all of that good stuff. But like I said, I'm in school, and I gotta meet these deadlines, honey. I gotta meet these deadlines. But I want you all to know that you need to tell a friend, tell a neighbor. Like I said again, this is my first YouTube, but tell a friend, tell a neighbor. I'm live. I will be analyzing politics, but I will be talking about some different things. But from now until December, it will be strictly politics. Like I said, if in between you guys may see, something else, I may let you into my world, what I be doing, because, you can never get enough of me. But anywho, I want to just dive right in. I want to dive right in talking about Chicago politics. Matter of fact, not even Chicago, but Illinois politics. And I have to break this down in the most simplest terms so everyone can understand it. Okay, so everyone can understand it. And we need to all be informed and be intelligent citizens when we go out to vote. Let us start voting and going to the polls with some more integrity, knowing who we're going to vote for, what they stand for, and how will it impact my life. Okay? There's nothing wrong with looking at someone's track record. Like, what have they done in the past? What have they, fallen short on? What have they, accomplished? Stuff like that. Do your research. But because I know a lot of you work, you go to school, You have kids, you have families, you are doing everything under the sun, but I need you all to take a little bit of time to watch this video so you can know a little bit more. So let me begin by saying this. The purpose, and let me, disclaimer, I have notes here so I won't forget anything. I came prepared, so I have notes that I am, looking down at, but I will be, looking here at the camera. Woo-hoo! And so let me begin by saying the purpose of the primary election in the United States is it's basically an election to select candidates to run for public office. To run for public office. It is an election by the political parties to nominate the candidates for the general election. So here's the thing. No one is elected in a primary election. No one is elected, but candidates are selected. There's a difference between being elected and selected, okay? And so in order to win a political party nomination, the candidate must receive more votes than anyone in their party. And they must at least have 35% of the votes cast for that office by members of the political party. For those of you that don't know, a general election is an election in which candidates are elected to office. So that means they're actually sworn in, and that's who your senator, your rep, that's their job. They're actually elected into that office. So the contrast between primary election, which is used to narrow the field of candidates, okay? So you may start off with, like, let's just say five candidates, okay, for the Democratic, party, right? And 5 for Republican. But then the people, they narrow it down to who they want, okay? They narrow it down. So keep that in mind when you are going to vote. It's your job to narrow it down. So I know we are in August and we're closing out the summer. The kids are back in school. I believe they started August 22nd, CPS, if I'm not mistaken. But here is what has happened June 28th. June 28th, for votes in the city or the suburbs, the turnout for the Illinois primary was lower than 2 years ago. It was lower. The numbers were lower. That's a problem. Here's what has happened. People between I'll say this, young people between the ages of 18 to 24, they did not vote. They did not vote. Here is where the difficulty has happened. The difficulty happened when primaries are generally in March. But this time, they were in the summer. It was in the summer. It was like the middle of the summer, like June. It was June, right? Yeah, it was June. And so it was kind of starting off. June, that's when you're kind of getting on your break and you're planning these vacations and things like that. So it was June. We'll say July is like middle summer, okay? And so DuPage County had the largest turnout in the Chicago area. It was slightly higher than Cook and Chicago with just over 22%. 6 suburban, so Cook County, the polling location for Cook County, it stayed open late Tuesday night for that election day, for that primary election, because they opened an hour late. Okay, they opened an hour late. In the city, 56 polling places did not open on time. but did not stay open later. I want to tell you guys about this. I will begin to talk about voter suppression as well. I will talk just a little bit about that so we are all informed, but I want to stress the importance of early voting. I want to stress the importance of early voting. And the reason I want to express the importance of early voting is because many people wait till the last minute to go vote. And then when you have little hookups and weird things that happen that day of election day, then it's like, now you're like a deer in headlights because you didn't exercise your right, you weren't able to because, now I have to be at work at a certain time, and now the poll location is, they're open, they're late, and they're not on time, and now I can't do what I gotta do. I gotta drop the kids. I gotta do this. I gotta drop the kid off to camp. And all types of little hiccups begin to happen when you begin to do the right thing. When you begin to try and do the right thing, try to press your way, things begin to happen. Begin to happen. And I'll say this. If you can, vote early. Vote early. Prioritize your right. Because there are people, I'll say this, politicians. There are politicians that don't want you to vote. They do not want you to vote. Especially trying to silence the black and brown vote. Trying to silence the black and brown vote. And it becomes a problem because now our young people begin to have this, type of nonchalant attitude, like, oh, I don't got it. Oh, well, I can do it another time, or I'm just not gonna vote. I'm just not gonna do it. They can catch me in the next round. No, they need to catch you when they say you need to vote. That's when they need to catch you. You need to be in line waiting. You need to carve out that time. Carve out that time to be heard. And this is not on my notes, but I'll say this. When I was younger and I couldn't vote, and I knew it was time for my grandparents to vote, because my grandparents, they would oftentimes, watch me and my sister. They would watch me and my sister, and I would be like, oh, it is boring up in here, and I would just watch TV, and my grandmother would cook, and I would call her Nana. My Nana would cook. She would cook, and my papa would be like, it's time for us to go vote. We finna go early. They were sticklers for early voting because they knew everything that happened when they didn't have that right to vote. When they didn't have that opportunity. And so they made it their business. They made it their business to vote. And I'll tell you this, what has happened when they would come back to vote. Listen, when they would come back to vote, I would ask them, so who did you guys vote for? Who'd you vote for? And at that young age, they told me it was none of my business. It was none of my business. And whoever you vote for, it is, I want to tell you guys this, it is none of their business. It is none of their business, because they don't pay your bills. They do not go to school with you. These people do not do anything for you. Okay, so you are not obligated to tell someone who you voted for. You are not obligated to do that. Moving right along in the conversation. So I want to give you all a little bit about numbers. And I was having this conversation with my mom saying, and she reminded me, I was getting tutored. She reminded me how I told someone, I said, I'm never going to use this. I never liked math. I never liked math. I'm terrible with numbers. Terrible. I'm terrible with numbers. I don't like it. I don't like looking at what's 5 plus 5. I don't like looking what's 2 plus 2. None of that. I don't like numbers. Okay? It confuses me. And I told the tutor, I said, I'm never gonna use, when am I gonna use this? And I was young and I didn't know any better. And sure enough, now I'm analyzing numbers and data, and I'm looking at what what it means to our society. So now I do have to use a little bit of math and percentages, uh, looking at different percentage. And converting them and looking at different fractions and what does it mean to us. And so I did need math. I didn't know what I was talking about. So I tell people, do good in your math class because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. And I was so foolish. Because now I need it. And I needed someone to put me on blast and be like look at me sideways and be like, because I'm gonna need it. I need it now. And so it is so important that when I give you these numbers, that you all really get what I'm saying. And get the meaning of when I explain it. Okay, so when I tell you these numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I'm getting these numbers straight off, the election site and what has happened after the election. So for Governor J.B. Pritzker, he received 91.8% of the votes, and Beverly Miles received 8.2%. So come November, Governor J.B. Pritzker will run against Republican State Senator Darren Bailey. A little bit about Bailey, right? Because we are familiar, the people that are in Illinois, they're familiar with J.B. Pritzker, but we don't know too much about Darren Bailey. Bailey, he's a former President Donald Trump supporter. What has happened with Bailey is that what made him, the top runner up is that he received a last minute endorsement from Trump. He got 57% of the vote. As state senator of the 55th district in Southeast Illinois and a former talk show host on WLSAM in Chicago, he has been building this relationship. He's been building this relationship with President Trump. And I know that many Chicago people, you guys love listening to 1390, but I dare you to listen to 890 WLSAM. Okay? Listen. Just take a listen and see what he is saying. Okay? See what he is saying. Governor Pritzker. So he was sworn in as the 43rd governor of Illinois on January 14th, 2019. So J.B. Pritzker, he is committed to raising wages, reducing healthcare costs, expanding child care assistance, and increasing college affordability. Pritzker was born in California. He is Jewish, and his family is prominent in business and philanthropy. So during the 20th century, many of you may not know this, and it came as a surprise to me about his legacy. It's important that you know these people's grandparents, their great grandparents, if you can find it. If you can find it, look it up. And that's all about, when you find that, that talks about their morals, their values, their foundation, how they were raised, okay? And how they may be raising their families, okay? So the Pritzkers are consistently named one of the top richest families according to Forbes. And they are worth, check this out. They are worth $15 billion. So, what does that mean, Illinois? Pritzker has a little bit of money. Not a little bit, he got a lot of money. He has a lot of money. Okay, all the things I would do with $15 billion. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. But I'll just stick to what I have and pray for an increase. Because of what I would do with $15 billion. But yes, Pritzker has a little bit of money, y'all. So, a little bit about statewide elections. They are races for executive positions in the state government and for one of Illinois' 2 Senate seats. So, Kwame Raoul, he ran unopposed and won the Democratic primary. He was sworn in as the 42nd Attorney General of Illinois in January 2019. Kwame defends and upholds the law and protects access to health care and reproductive rights and fights for equal rights. So I want to tell you all this. Those of you that know about, the government doing all of this, with overturning, the abortion rights and things like that. I want you all, when you begin to vote, think about your morals and your values. Whether you're against abortion, for abortion, think about people that support those things. Okay? Think about people that support those, those type of things that you are for. Okay? I suggest, if you don't know and you're a young person, begin to write down whether you agree with, abortion, or whether you don't agree, whether you agree about same-sex marriages or you don't. And maybe you don't want to agree or disagree or anything like that, but think about, your friends, your peers that may identify, a part of the LGBTQIA community. Then think about, your mother, your daughter, and your wife and your girlfriend, people like that really, like, especially I'm talking to men now, that things you really can't relate to. Think about that. Things you really can't relate to that may be sensitive to women. Think about that. And it's really about having compassion for your fellow man and your fellow woman. And when you have compassion, you begin to use less of this and more of this and more of this. You begin to think and you begin to use your heart. You think and use your heart. And when you use your mouth, a lot of times when we use our mouth, I said we use our mouth, any and everything can come out of it. Because a lot of times we do not think before we speak. We do not operate with love. I'm saying we do not operate with love. We need to be more compassionate, whether someone is, Black, European, they identify as a different race, a different sex, a different religion. We need to still know how to be a people of unity, a people of unity that really, really care. As I continue with Kwame, he created the state's first organized retail crime task force with law enforcement partners to investigate smash and grab crimes. The task force recently busted a car theft ring and has recovered over 1 million in stolen merchandise. So, one thing about Kwame is that he all those when we see the car theft and on the news, he is all about let me get your stuff. Let me get your stuff. Let me fight for you. Let me fight for you. All those people that's doing all that carjacking and stuff, he's saying, "Oh no, we not about to, it's not about to go down like that." He is willing to fight for you. He has also partnered with the FBI to investigate unemployment insurance fraud and other COVID related fraud. What he's also a stickler for, and this may yeah, this is probably where you guys will tune off or whatever. But all of you all that did that PPP loan, all of you all that did that PPP loan, he's not pleased that many people receive that money and they don't have a legitimate business. That's what he's not pleased about that. Moving right along, because and the crowd grows silent. They go silent. So Tom DeVere, a private attorney from Bond County, who litigated to lift the statewide mask mandate in public schools. He won with 44.3% of the vote. He has spent the past 20 plus months representing small business owners, educators, parents, and students in the courtroom. He sued J.B. Pritzker and 145 plus school districts to end the mask and exclusion from school mandates, in addition to 45 plus school districts to end vaccination and testing for educators. He also sued Mayor Lori Lightfoot on behalf of the brave men and women of the City of Chicago Police and Fire Department to end vaccination and testing policies. So, I'll say this about him. He did not really believe that students should be wearing their mask. He did not want students to wear their mask in the classroom, and he wanted to end the vaccination and testing for educators. The thing is, there are still people in America that do not want to take the vaccination for COVID-19. We can talk about the vaccination all day. Why it's a good one, why people should take it, it's going to protect you, all of those things, but we cannot force anyone to get the vaccination. We cannot. These people, if they would like to, get tested every day to go to work or go to school, so be it. But a lot of these places are requiring the vaccination. They are. And I'll say this, COVID is not over. COVID is not over. It's not. Now we are talking about the CDC. Now they're talking about polio coming back. And, that's a different topic on another day as we talk about the CDC and Dr. Fauci, stepping down in December. We have to know that we have to do our part. We have to do our part. So for Secretary of State, Democratic primary, Alexei Giannopoulos, a former state treasurer and 2010 Democratic candidate for U.S. Senator, won with 52.8% of the vote. At 30, Alexei was elected as Illinois' state treasurer, becoming the youngest state treasurer in the nation. Alexei was elected as Illinois state treasurer, becoming the youngest in the nation, and I had to repeat that due to the fact that a lot of these young people will begin to take on these positions. And I said that, last year, and I really believe it. I really believe it. And the reason why I believe it is because as people are getting older, and these young people begin to go to school, get their masters, get their doctorate degrees, their JDs, all that stuff, they are going to have to start taking on leadership positions. And when they take on these positions, they need the support of the people. And whether those people who are already in office want to give up that position or not, these young people will get their day. They will get their day. And and I'll say this, we all get a turn, right? We all get a turn. I know we've heard that saying, it's your season, it's your time, but we have to be aware of when young people are getting positions, you have to ask yourself, are you going to be a help or a hindrance to that young person that's in that position? Are you going to be a help or a hindrance? Because, and the reason I ask that is because we have to learn as a people to know how to allow young people to make the mistake. You can tell them all the time, don't go down this route, don't do that, but they have to learn. Some of my greatest lessons I learned because I wanted to be so independent, so adult, and say I had it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And I thought I had it. But it's okay to give helpful advice. If you're going to be a help, be a help. If you're going to be a hindrance, sit down. Sit down. If you're going to be jealous and manipulative and try to talk that person down and not offer a good word of advice, sit down. Please. And I feel like this, the more you mess up, the more you learn. That's how I feel. Because sometimes you got to fall on your face a couple times. You got to be embarrassed. You got to cry in order for you to learn what not to do and what to do while in these positions. She is centered. So Alexi is centered on the simple belief that it was possible to create opportunities where everyone, not just the privileged, benefited from the law. She wants everyone to succeed. So it's like that thing when you make it to a position, but then you try to bring everybody up with you. That's how she operates. That's what she believes. As a young person, that's what she believes. At at the age of 30, she was the youngest in the nation. Youngest in the nation. She's dominating. She's dominating. And it's time for a lot of us to take charge. It's time for us to take charge. And that's why I'm doing this YouTube channel, because it's time for me to come out the back and let's do this. Let's do this. It's time. It's our time. It's our time to make a difference, for our voices to be heard. Dan Brady, a state representative for the 105th District in Central Illinois, won with 76.4% of the vote. Dan has been especially active in legislative efforts affecting insurance, families, law enforcement, and emergency medical services. He most recently created legislation to help local law enforcement agencies obtain information to assist them in responding to calls involving individuals with special needs. On January 10th, 2001, Dan Brady was sworn in as state representative for the 88th Legislative District. So he is interested in supporting those people and families with special needs. With special needs. So if you know anyone with special needs, they matter. They matter. They matter. They want to be loved. They want to be treated just like any regular human being. They want to be treated with care. Not you looking at them like they got four eyes. They want to be treated with care. They want for someone to say, I love you, you're beautiful, you're kind. They want positive affirmations. A lot of you guys love doing these positive affirmations. Try complimenting someone. Telling someone they look good today. Offering a handshake or an elbow bump or something. Smile. Smile at someone else. And I'm learning this so much because where I am now, as I begin to travel, and when I came from New Orleans, everyone spoke. Now I'm in a place now, no one speaks. No one speaks, and I had to learn the hard way that kindness goes a long way. So people that are different, that have special needs, a part of different communities, we have to be compassionate people. We have to be compassionate, but we also have to say, what can I do? How can I come out of my comfort zone and do something I've never done before? What can I do? It's time out for all this. Oh, I'm antisocial. I don't feel like talking today. You better speak. You better speak. I had to learn that. You better speak. Speak up. Speak up. U.S. Senator, Democratic primary, Tammy Duckworth ran unopposed and won the Democratic primary. She advocates for working families, civil rights, environmental justice, as well as veterans and military families. If you go on her website, her platform is all about how she grew up and she worked to pull her family out of poverty, and she served our nation. She served our nation, and on November 12th, 2004, Tammy's UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter was hit by a rocket propelled grenade that exploded in her lap. She lost both of her legs and partial use of her right arm in the explosion. As a result of her injuries, Tammy earned a Purple Heart. So I want to just explain a little bit about the importance of our military. Importance about our military. Because I think a lot of us, we only celebrate them on those holidays. Okay? We only celebrate them on holidays. Or, when the babies don't have school. But they are vital. They work behind the scenes. A lot of them get up early in the morning, way before I do. I'm still in the bed. way before any of us even do. I'm not an early morning riser, but they get up. They get up and they serve. They serve. And after they serve, a lot of them, a great percentage of them, they end up with PTSD. They end up with PTSD because they're fighting for you and me. They're fighting for you and me. And I just want to say I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of the sacrifice. And it takes a lot to get up, put on the uniform, put on those boots, and begin to train and exercise and practice and do all types of military drills and things like that, all to prepare for the war at hand. And for those that are actually fighting different wars, oh my God. So here we have Tammy, who sacrificed her life. A grenade, it right in her lap. And now she's giving back. Here's what I want to talk about with you all. The importance of giving back. When you begin to give your time and your service to still help the community, because she's still helping the community, although she lost both of her legs, we need to know how to say thank you. We need to know that our military should not be forgotten. They should not be forgotten. We need to say, keep fighting. I appreciate you. There's nothing wrong with writing a note or a letter to Tammy or any person in the military to say thank you. And she gives back in a way where she saw her family in poverty. And I want to encourage any young person that may be looking at this to find what motivates you. Tammy was motivated by watching her family. I want to encourage any young person to find what motivates you. What are you passionate about? What do you wish was different? And when you look at the world today, what do you wish was different? Is it gun violence? What is it? What is it? Is it the environment? Is it something in the air? Because there is a thing about, a lot of people are into climate now, climate change and all of that. But what really gets you going? What's like, dang, like I wish this was better. What is it? Find that thing. And begin to do that thing. Begin to do what you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate, you're willing to sacrifice. You're willing to stay up some nights, some sleepless nights. You're willing to stay up. You're willing to say, I'm not gonna quit doing this until it's right. Until it's right. You want to see it all the way through. You want to see it all the way through. And with politics and with this government, we need people that are willing to see it all the way through. After their term is over. After the term is over. If you never get voted for again, we need people to still say, I'm on the front lines fighting for the community. They didn't elect me, but I'm still going to fight. I'm going to keep fighting the good fight. Because I do believe that whoever's in office, I know that I know that I can be impactful. I was created to be impactful. So guess what? We have to know that we can all pitch in when we begin to do what we're passionate about. When we begin to, work out the things that makes us tick, that makes us like, ooh, like why is that? It makes us question some things. Kathy Salovey, a personal injury lawyer and former public defender. She won with 30.1% of the vote. She covers the federal government's first priority to ensure our borders are safe and secure. She wants to bring economic relief to families and businesses. She believes that the United States should have acted before Putin's invasion. So really, she wanted us to go to war. Okay? She wanted us to fight. Gear up. That's what she's saying, gear up. She believes that peace through strength requires strong, decisive leadership. Here's where things get a little interesting with her. She believes that President Biden's leadership is chaotic and disastrous. Withdrawal from Afghanistan not only marked a low point in America's leadership abroad, but it also renewed aggression by evil dictators around the world. She's against defunding the police, and she believes that parents therefore have the right to make decisions on behalf of their children. Parents need a voice on education. And I'll say this about her. I'll say this. What happens to a lot of us is that Biden made a decision on how he wanted to handle, or how he wanted America to handle what happened between Russia and Ukraine and America's role in that. I'll tell you all this. There's a way that even with myself, because I know that when I'm in a leadership position, I want someone to respect me. And so we have to learn to respect leadership, because what she's doing now is critiquing Biden's authority and his position as president of the United States of America. He's the leader. He's the leader. He made this decision, and so by her calling it chaotic, that's problematic, because you're not the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. And what happens is we need to learn how to stay in our place. We have to learn how to stay in our place. And, I don't know more than my professor. I don't. I'm learning as I go. And I ask him, can you make the edits to this? Can you look to see if this is right? I'm checking with him. He's not checking with me. He's not. He's already got a Pulitzer. He's got a Pulitzer. And so it's our job to follow the leader. Follow the leader. Whether we agree or not, follow the leader. Respect authority. That goes for myself included. To learn how to respect authority. So here's what should happen on November 8th, 2022. Here's our job. Our job going forward is to tell people that their voices matter and that their voice counts, that they need to go out and vote. They need to go out to vote. They need to go out to vote. And when they go out to vote, that it is going to really be impactful. It's really going to be impactful. And I want to say this, the job of a journalist in this day and age, it's all about being truthful, being honest, not sugarcoating things because of the wealthy. And what I mean about things is policies. Who are they going to benefit? What I also mean about things is, if you mishandled any type of money, it's the job of the reporter to investigate. That's the point. Investigate. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share to a friend, neighbor, all that good stuff. Share, because come November, before November, I will have pamphlets that I will be sending to Chicago and putting them in local libraries and community centers in regards to voting. A little bit about these candidates, what they stand for, who they are. I will be putting them out, and so they'll be just for you. And excuse me, if you want a personal pamphlet, contact me. I will be putting my Instagram is 3_ Hannah Joy. Really simple. 3_ Hannah Joy. And like I said, I will be coming with other videos. And they will be, like I said in the beginning, all about me, all about what is going on with travel, career, reporting. I will be covering a debate coming soon. I will be at different events. And it's really going to be very interesting because I will be doing a lot of reporting. I'll be doing a lot more on-camera things as far as, live stand-ups, things like that, and putting them together as a package so you all can see it. And I just want to say that it is our job. It is our job to make the difference. Do not count on your sister, your brother, your auntie, your aunt, your mom and dad to make the decision for you. Do not rely on your pastor, you know, your first lady to make the decision for you. You are an individual. You go home with you and you know what you need. And you know what a few of these people are supporting and what they don't support. So it's your job to be a good citizen. Be a good citizen, and it's that time. It's that time because come and what I let me tell you this before we close out. In 2024, what I'm hoping is that we do not see what we saw in 2020. That's what I'm hoping for. That we do not see what we saw in 2020. And I'll tell you this, we are seeing a lot more people beginning to become interested in running. When we look at, this investigation that's happening with Trump, and it looks like all of these, just a whole bunch of formality type of things, we need to know that we need to be patient to see what is happening. Turn on the news, see what is happening, stay informed. On my phone, I was one of those people that did not like looking at the news, especially during COVID, because so many people were dying and it was just too much for me to handle. But then now I'm the type of person, I have to get the news notification. I have to get what's happening on the Hill. I have to get that information from Politico. I have to, because now as we come close to the end of the year and we enter into 2023 and then 2024, we have to know what these politicians are talking about. We have to know what they stand for. And it's up to us to spread the word. Word of mouth is the best kind of marketing. But I am Hannah Joy, and I have enjoyed reporting and talking with you all, giving you all data and numbers and all the good stuff, and just a little bit of background information of these politicians and what has happened in June and what is going to happen come November, or what needs to happen actually. I just love all of my followers from Chicago, New Orleans, all across the country. You all are the best. From the East Coast, the West Coast, the South, all of you all. I mean it, all of you all. Send me some likes, some hearts, share. Let me know what kind of content you want to see, because, I will not always be, all in the back here in this room. I will not. We will actually be going on adventures together and traveling and doing some more fun things and talking about, some deeper personal issues of what's going on. Please, hit me up, email me. My email is in the about section of my YouTube channel. And I've enjoyed. I am out. I love you all. It's Hannah Joy.